All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. Billy Schweim, Scotty McKay. You're at your house, Scooter. I'm at my house, and you were just telling me over the break our good friend was operated on yesterday.
Yeah, my buddy PJ Rumbos. He's been having some problems with his left knee, and he went in and got it operated on yesterday. They replaced his whole knee, so he's recovering in the hospital. He should be home probably later today or tomorrow. So we're give him a shout out.
All right, we got the Twitter poll, the Housemaster Home Inspections Twitter poll question of the day, Scooter, is which Philly team was the best that didn't win the championship game? 10% say the 2001 Sixers, 18% say the 1993 Phillies, 53% say the 2004 Eagles, and 19% say the 1987 Flyers. And, of course, keep those Twitter poll responses coming in. Now, Scooter, it's time to go to the sports hotline and welcome into the locker room a guy that played on a great team, great teams coached by Don Shula. And we've been talking about the greatness of Coach Shula, but now we get a chance to actually speak with someone who played with him or played for him. So let's go to the sports hotline and welcome into the locker room former Miami Dolphin, former part of the Killer Bees, the Bruise Brothers, Glenn Blackwood. Welcome into the show, Glenn.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be on with you.
So, Glenn, I know it's been a tough time for you and all your former teammates, the passing of Coach Don Shula. He was a great ambassador of the game, man.
He was, he was to me everything that's right about the game in a lot of perspectives. He was constantly harping on us about, playing the game the right way, getting as least the penalties as you could, and just trying to maintain the integrity of the game. And I think that passed on to a lot of his players, and it's been, it's tough and it's sad and everything, but Coach Shula had lived a full life. He was 90 years old, and we had a birthday party for him in January. It was all the players. We just went over to his steakhouse there in Miami Lakes, and it was just players and a few spouses and coaches, and it was really cool because those are the moments that you get to tell somebody what they really mean to you. And you get to have real conversations, not just fluff conversations. And it was neat for me to be able at the end of the evening. He had that little scooter. He rode this little scooter because he couldn't get around real well. And he was over by himself, and I was able to go over and just say, thank you for valuing a player's ability to think on the field, because that's what, helped me make it in the NFL. And I thanked him for giving me a shot.
Hey, Glenn, he was a real religious man, wasn't he?
He was. Coach Shula almost every day went to mass, and so we were there at St. Thomas there in Miami Lakes, and he would go in and the free. Pardon?
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Well, no, it used to be called St. Thomas University, and then it was Biscayne College, then it went to St. Thomas, and it was just had all these different names. But anyway, it was where we worked out. They're in a whole new facility now. But anyway, that was kind of his MO, is to get up and go to mass. I think part of it was to make up for all the verbals he laid at us in the practice the day before.
That's great. Hey, Glenn, this is Scotty McKay. I've heard a lot of stuff, when, you wait until the end when their life is over and you kind of wish you had said something or whatever. But we've heard that he was a real tough cookie, and it took a while for the players to really buy in. You can only take so much of that as a player, getting, pushed and pushed and pushed. But it seems like everybody has said in the end it was the best thing that ever happened to them.
Well, I think that's the guys that hung around. There were some guys that came through there that couldn't hang with it. They didn't like it. They didn't want it. And I'll tell you all a quick story, just so it'll give you a picture. But My brother played with about 25% of the NFL, and he ended up going up to the Giants, and he didn't want to play there. They cut him. He was in his 9th year, and when we had in the 4th game of our season, Don McNeil pulled his hamstring. We needed the nickel back, and I went by and, just kind of kiddingly said, hey, I know where there's a veteran defensive back down in Austin, Texas. And the next thing I know, my brother comes down, and we play 5 years together. But we were playing that year, and Lyle and I are starting, and we're playing Kansas City in Kansas. And we win the game. We win our division, which was a big deal because you wanted to have, home field advantage during the playoffs. And so it's a really tight game, and they had a decent football team. And anyway, there was a play on the goal line. On goal line, they bring all their big guys in. We called that elephant. And they bring the 3 tight ends in and for their running formation. Well, at least back then they did that. And when that happened, they would take the free safety out and put a linebacker in because you didn't need, a fast guy. You needed a big guy in there stopping up the run.
Right.
And so Steve Shule would come in as linebacker. Well, he comes running in the game. They're down on our goal line. It's like 2nd and 2 on the 2. And he comes running in the game. And my brother sees him coming in, and he always came in for him. So my brother goes running out. Well, when Shule gets in the huddle, he goes, Brzezinski. So Brzezinski goes running out. Well, that was Brzezinski, and my brother ran out. One guy came in. We were one guy short. And I'm sitting there watching their sideline I'm watching their personnel, and I'm not paying attention to who we have. I'm thinking we have our proper personnel on our team. I'm looking at theirs, and so they line up, and they had a running back then, Joe Delaney, and he was to the near side, and they had the flanker over me, and the flanker's bigger than me because he's a big tight end, so I'm kind of like I'm all jacked up, and all of a sudden that flanker goes in motion over to the other side, so I've got one tight end and Joe Delaney, and you go in and out with your free safety. Well, I turned to go in and out with my free safety. My free safety was standing on the sideline, my brother, because Brzezinski had gone out, and that's where Shule was playing in his play. So anyway, I'm going, okay, please don't run 119 arrow Q, which is a little play action pass. Lo and behold, they run 119 arrow Q. And so I said, I'm going to cover my guy. I covered my guy. They throw to Lyle's guy who's standing on the sideline, touchdown, 2-yard little touchdown pass. I had told my brother, I said, Lyle, when you come down here to Miami, I said, I want you to understand, Shula is special. I said, his ability to chew you out is like nothing you've ever seen. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it, little brother. I've been around the league. Don't, I'm 9-year veteran, all this stuff. I go over to the sideline after they kick the extra point. He's over there. Kozlowski's fanning him with a towel. He's red in the face. Tears are coming out. He looks at me and goes, do you know what he said to me? Do you know what he told me? I said, I told you the guy was special.
We're talking with Glenn Blackwood, former Miami Dolphin, played for Don Shula for 9 years, I guess, with the Dolphins. And, Glenn, in preparation for having you on the show today, one thing I noticed that, the Miami Dolphins had that great year where they went 17-0, won the Super Bowl, the only undefeated team in the NFL. And then in 1985, you guys had the duty of preserving that record. On a Monday night game, you guys had to face the undefeated Chicago Bears at the time. What was that like? How much pressure was on you guys? How much from the 72 team to win that game?
It's really interesting that and I'll try and be brief with this story, but Shula really didn't mention that during the week. And we were all about business, and but you kind of felt, you could feel the deal during the week, but we were just preparing for the football game. We knew it was going to be a big football game. I walked out on the field. I always walked out before we went out to warm up, and I'm telling you what, there were fans already. There were probably 40,000 fans already in the stands.
They were all lathered up.
It was electric. And I've never, you hear that word, it was electric, and I always say, oh, bull crap, there's no, I walked out and the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and we went out on the sideline, and I walked out for the coin toss, and I'm feeling this is big, but I'm not. And when I came back from the coin toss, there was Shula, there was a team, and behind the team was the whole 72 team standing there. And I said,
Talking about looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know, most of them weren't bad, but if you looked at Zonka with that nose that went all over his face like a road map, you said, I don't want to mess with that guy. And we went out. We went out and spanked him pretty good.
Hey, Glenn, do you think Coach Shula would be able to coach the players today?
You know, one of the things about Shoes, he did have the ability to adapt, and he adapted pretty well. I think it would have been tougher on him because you know, one of the things he didn't like free agency because he wanted to have consistency and control over his players, and you lose that with free agency. I think that would have been very frustrating for him, but from the pure X's and O's perspective, I think he would have been fine.
One quick question before we let you go. Who was harder to cover, Mark Duper or Mark Clayton?
You know, the great thing about practicing against those guys and Dan Marino was it made me a better football player. And if I could get a jump on Marino, or if I could play too deep with my brother and get to the sidelines in the middle on Duper and Clayton and Nat Moore going down the middle. If you could do that against them, you could do it against anybody. And so they made me, and they embarrassed me some out in practice. I'm not afraid to say that, but I'll tell you what, it made me a better football player. And that's the way our team was. There just wasn't a bunch of cocky guys. We were all about putting things together and working towards a common goal.
Well, listen, Glenn, I really appreciate you taking time out to spend a little time with us today on a Saturday morning talking about Coach Shula. I just wanted to, you know, I reached out to the Dolphins. I wanted to hear from one of his players because while, you know, we're up here in the Philadelphia sports market, we still respected and admired Coach Shula and what he did for the game. And he'll be missed, but we have fond memories of Coach Shula, so I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Well, my pleasure. And my last thing I'll tell you is if y'all never saw anything with him, you had to have seen the sideline stare. And I've always thought if you just stuck Shula in the room with this COVID stuff, it knocked the heck out of that thing.
All right, Glenn, thanks so much, and maybe we'll do it again.
Good deal. Thank you. Have a good day, gentlemen.
You too, man. Scooter. Thanks, Glenn.
How about that, Glenn Blackwood, Scooter? It was just unbelievable.
I wonder if Lyle ever thanked him for extending his career 5 years. I was going to ask him that, but and you know what's weird too, and I wanted to say, but you know, time's tough. But his last game, he had a career-ending injury in the vet against the Eagles.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, the Housemaster Home Inspections Twitter poll question of the day: which Philly team was the best that didn't win the championship? The 2001 Sixers are at 8%, the 1993 Phillies at 17%, the 2004 Eagles, Scooter, at 56%, and the 1987 Flyers at 19%. Keep the Twitter responses coming at Locker Room 973, at 973 ESPN. Want to remind people that the first hour of the Locker Room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents and brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate real estate purchases, construction, and refinances. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city to every place in between. Surety Title's there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. For more information, call Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a customer-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop in and learn about their entire line of premium luxury vehicles, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan and the class-defining all-new Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, is a leader in Maserati certified pre-owned sales. For more information, please call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. And just about everybody's heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. Are you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? They hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or call him at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the first hour. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.